All right, Billy Cunningham, the Great American. Several days ago, there was another terrible accident on the Brent Spence Bridge. Fortunately, there were injuries this time and not deaths. A man that has perspective on how dangerous the Brent Spence Bridge is Buddy Wheatley, former Covington fire chief. He's now an attorney. And my legal profession needs more people like Buddy Wheatley in it. Buddy Wheatley, welcome to the Bill Cunningham Show. Buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bill?
Good. Talk about the Brent Spence Bridge, because how many years did you spend in the Covington Fire Department?
I was a firefighter with the city from 1988 through 2008, and, of course, the last 3 years as the fire chief. So I had quite a few runs on that bridge and quite a bit of experience there.
So you spent 20 years, and the last 3 as the Covington fire chief. You have a posting that says the bridge is more dangerous than a burning building. Explain.
Explain. No problem. Well, when it comes to burning buildings, that's sort of the meat and potatoes of what firefighters do. We've been doing it for a very long time. We get training in simulations, ways that we know how to attack the fire. It's important to have the proper amount of personnel. All of these things are training scenarios that we can handle and train over again and again. When it comes to that bridge, you can't stop traffic and get up there and say, okay, this is where these fire trucks will go, this is where the rescue equipment will go, the ambulances will come this way. We can learn from past experiences, but just to get the hands-on training in the amount of dangers that those firefighters, EMS people, police officers, emergency responders, boat and rescue people, the amount of dangers that are involved with a expressway that's running past our city and over our river is just something you cannot emulate, and that's what I point to in the article and speak on it being more dangerous than going into burning buildings. You
have a posting that says nothing is routine. Water looms 75 feet below. There's no berm, no pull-off area to work from. Anxiety builds as fire trucks attempt to access the scene. Response is delayed whether emergency vehicles attempt to squeeze by jammed up traffic from the rear of the accident or police block all 4 lanes to allow access from the front of the traffic scene. Police officers face tremendous risks in bringing high-speed traffic to a complete halt, and that's all before anyone makes contact with a crash victim. So you're advocating to redo the bridge. The Brent Spence Bridge would remain if we go through all this, but there would be a pull-off lane. Is that pull-off lane absolutely important, critical when you talk about the new BS bridges? That's the main thing required?
It is very important. You can't do everything to mitigate all the possible hazards there. You're still going to be going over a major river with expressway type speed limits, but a berm would be helpful. We also at City of Covington, we cover the Clayway Bailey Bridge and the Suspension Bridge. Also, on those 2 bridges, you have walkways that are on the opposite side of the berm wall. And while they don't provide a great amount of safety or additional places to work from, there is that. When it comes to the Brent Spence Bridge, as soon as you get over that berm wall, you're looking at the water.
Yeah, there's nothing.
We've had some tremendous and terrible and horrific accidents, and people go over into the water, obviously.
Yeah, it was
in the end, Bill, I just can't get past the part that, we don't hear enough about how emergency workers are such risk there. And it was risky when it was a 3-lane bridge, but it's even riskier now. It's more dangerous. There seems to be more accidents. I don't have all the statistics that would prove some of this out. But it's a risky, dangerous area to be in. Covington is stripped of its resources, which they've recently reduced their personnel, as the city of Cincinnati has, the number of people they have on the streets every day. And when we're up there, or when the firefighters are currently up there like they were last week, there are no downtown emergency equipment, no ambulances, no fire trucks, and, of course, the police resources are reduced at that time, too.
So when that incident took place, the emergency responders from Covington and Newport and Fort Wright, you had extreme hazards that you faced, and then if something happened in those cities, there was no vehicles to go.
Well, there's mutual aid, and we would eventually have vehicles come from other departments or from outside of the downtown area of Covington. And yes, we pick each other up all throughout throughout the country for that fact. But it's just delayed. It's further delayed, and there's already been delays. I wouldn't say built into the system, but that have been created with the reduced manpower because of the budget strain that especially happened during this Great Recession. So it's even further restrained. And in the Covington Fire Department, when I was the fire chief, we created another way to use our resources where we put a couple more ambulances on the street, but those firefighters are cross roles. So when there's an ambulance that needs to go out, they run out, but that leaves a pumper that's not available to go.
Right.
Now with one reduced pumper in the city of Covington, and there's several brownouts in Cincinnati going on, and it's reduced resources everywhere, and it just puts us all more at risk. That bridge puts all of Greater Cincinnati at risk for not having or for delayed responses.
How about calling it the Boehner-McConnell Bridge and give up Brent Spence? Nobody knows who that congressman was anyway. How about the John Boehner, Mitch McConnell Bridge if they get the money?
Okay, if they get the money, I'll do it. But let's wait till we see that.
Let's see the money. I mean, the shovel ready and all this stuff. $1 trillion spent. Obama's there saying, "Hey, build it. We'll pass the $1 trillion. Republicans, Democrats pass a $1 trillion stimulus package, shovel-ready jobs. Here's this bridge." As soon as it passed, Republicans, Democrats said to hell with it. I talked to John Boehner about it. He said we can't do it. I talked to McConnell about it. He said we can't do it. Of course, you can't talk to Obama. He's got his own problems. And at the end of the day, this thing must be built. It's got to be built. And if it's not built, there's going to be more teeth, hair, and eye everywhere.
There will be, and unfortunately, as I say in my article, it's going to be emergency responders at some point.
All right, we got to run, but once again, I think you're a great American, and I thank you very much for your service, Buddy Wheatley, and now you're a lawyer, right? How does a firefighter become a lawyer? How does that work?
Well, how does a broadcaster who used to be a lawyer, or maybe still is a lawyer, work? It's a passion of mine. It's something that I was in the labor movement as a firefighter, and that's something I believe in, and it's always best to work when you're working in something you believe in.
Yeah, well, good luck to you, and we'll see what happens. A lot of talk, but no action. A lot of talking, no walking. Here we are. 2014's largely done. We have no plan. It's like Music Hall and the terminal. It's like, what do we do? Nobody knows. Here we go. And it just goes on and on and on. And the more you wait, the more expensive it is, the more danger it is. When you're one of those 4 people in the car that fell 25 feet off the Brent Spence Bridge, yeah. I mean, think about that. And it's like, what do you do?
Well, think about the emergency workers as they're coming upon that scene. They just got to get there. This is even before they get there. There's plenty of work to do once they get there. And one last anecdote real quick, Bill, is that when I was the fire chief,